At this time tomorrow, we will be getting in results from the very, very, very anticlimactic Republican presidential primaries in Connecticut, Delaware, New York, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island. There is precisely no one on the edge of a seat anywhere in America breathlessly awaiting the results of those primaries, because the Republican nomination appears to be all but sewn up. Even with Mitt Romney having all but sewn it up, though, there do continue to be little off-script moments on the Republican side, things that run counter to the prevailing sense we have that the Republican primary is stick a fork in it done. Por ejemplo, Newt Gingrich today kicking off a 10-city campaign swing through North Carolina. Now, North Carolina is not on the list of states that's going to be voting tomorrow. North Carolina doesn't hold its primary until May 8th. But Mr. Gingrich is apparently still trying to win that one. Also, yesterday in Philadelphia, where there is going to be voting tomorrow, the candidate Ron Paul drew a huge crowd despite driving rain. The campaign says over 4,000 people turned out to hear Ron Paul speak in Philly in the middle of a drenching downpour. So if the main idea here, the main script everybody's reading from here is that Mitt Romney has got it done, it is over, frankly, there are still things going on the Republican side that make it seem like it's not done, at least not totally done. Perhaps the most off-script thing that has just happened on the Republican side is that I think Ron Paul just won Iowa. Seriously, this weekend. You'll recall that the Iowa caucuses on the Republican side this year were a bit of a disaster. Remember what the counting was like that night in January?
The numbers we're receiving from the state do not match the numbers we just received from the county chairwoman right here in Clinton County. If these are the final numbers...
The numbers don't match.
Well, I'll explain it. I'll explain it to you. John, you go ahead and explain it.
The numbers, Madam Chairwoman, I'm not questioning your numbers. I'm saying the numbers you're giving us now do not match the numbers that the State Central Committee has reported so far from your county, and they say one precinct is missing. So if your numbers are that missing precinct, and these are the final numbers from Clinton County, excuse my scribble, but 437, not 386, 354, not 321, we can stop right there. Well, if that would make
Romney the winner.
Romney the winner.
And then about 20 minutes after that strange middle-of-the-night moment on CNN, this guy, the state Republican Party chairman in Iowa, officially declared that Mitt Romney had won Iowa. They officially declared Mitt Romney the winner by 8 votes out of more than 120,000 cast.
Congratulations to Governor Mitt Romney, winner of the 2012 Iowa caucuses. Congratulations to Senator Santorum for a very close second-place finish in an excellent race here.
Don't believe him for a second. About 2 weeks after that, the party released final certified results that said that Mitt Romney was not the winner. The Iowa State Republican Party had changed its mind. They said first there was no way to know who won, then that the results should be viewed as a tie, and then they said that actually Rick Santorum had won.
It is indisputable that the certified caucus results have Rick Santorum winning by 34 votes.
So declaring this, then, a victory for Rick Santorum?
Yeah, the certified vote results.
Now, you sure knew? After all of that, after the disastrous vote counting and the disorganization and the chaos and Romney winning and then Santorum winning, the Iowa Republican Party chairman resigned, naturally. And now, 16 weeks after the voting happened and Mitt Romney was declared the winner, and 14 weeks after Rick Santorum was declared the winner, now it appears that Ron Paul is the winner in Iowa. See, Iowa gets to send a total of 28 delegates to the National Convention in Tampa this summer. One of the delegate seats goes to the new state party chairman who replaced the guy who was the disaster who quit. The new guy is an avowed Ron Paul supporter, so that's one Ron Paul delegate. This weekend, the state nomination committee that picks 13 more of the delegates, that committee was taken over by a majority of Ron Paul supporters, which means Ron Paul has just locked up at least half of Iowa's delegates. These 13 plus 14 in the form of the state party chairman, 14 of the 28 delegates, half the delegates are his. He will not get less than half. So Ron Paul either wins Iowa or, worst case scenario, he ties for first place. And while we're on the subject, looks like Ron Paul just won Minnesota, too. Minnesota has 40 delegates total. This weekend, Ron Paul won 20 of them. Now, not all the rest of Minnesota's 40 delegates have been allocated yet, but with half of them locked up, Ron Paul cannot come in worse than first. Worst case scenario, Ron Paul ties for first place in Minnesota. Anything better than that, he wins outright. And it should be noted, he warned us this was going to happen.
Thank you very much.
When the dust settles, I think there's a very good chance that we're going to have the maximum number of delegates coming out of Minnesota.
Ron Paul was right. Nobody is getting more delegates than he did in Minnesota or in Iowa or in wherever else this Ron Paul delegate strategy of his pays off. The main plot of the Republican nominating process remains mostly on script. Mitt Romney appears to be buttoning up the nomination, but it is not tidy. Want one more example? This weekend in Texas, Texas Republicans met in their Senate district party conventions, whatever those are. And this was no coronation for Mr. Romney, even though everybody thinks he's got it done. I mean, forget the Beltway media narrative here. Forget the main script. The Ron Paul supporters in Texas were marching this weekend under the banner of Warren G. Harding. They are citing the Warren G. Harding strategy of 1920. In 1920, Warren G. Harding went into the Republican National Convention with the fewest delegates of all the surviving candidates, and Warren G. Harding walked out with the nomination. He won on the 10th ballot. And if it worked 92 years ago for the man who would become our 29th president, couldn't it work now? If the Republican Party keeps this race as chaotic as it has been in the states, who knows? If this race keeps going the way it has been, frankly, Newt Gingrich is due to win Iowa any day now. Everybody else has already had their turn.